show you how to use a photo gate timer to find the velocity of an object. So for this, you're going to need a few items. This is a photo gate timer, a smart gate in particular. It's got two photo gates here. There are little sensors embedded in the arms here, and when you break the sensor, when something goes through it, it starts the timer. And when it goes through the second one, it stops the timer. And Capstone knows the distance between these, so it will calculate the average velocity in this small distance. It's like a centimeter, centimeter and a half, something like that. So in order to get this to work, you have to have this plug, should be plugged in. The other end of the plug looks like this, and it goes into the USB link or into an air link, which is wireless. And this gets plugged into your laptop in Capstone. So, so that's hooked up. So then I can show you in another screen how to work Capstone, how to set it up for this. So you're going to go to Capstone. So within Capstone then, you can look at the smart timer setup. It's already hooked up to go gate 1, then gate 2, and it's set up to show you the speed between gates and the velocity between gates, whichever one you want to do. So when you're done looking at that, you can close it. Nothing to change about it. We're going to drag in a data table, and we're going to select velocity or speed between gates. You don't need both, just one of them will do. This column you don't need. If you want to get rid of it, you can just click on it and then get rid of it, this button here, so that you have only one. Now, we also want to come down here where the continuous mode is, and you want to change that to keep mode. And when you press sample, you'll see that it'll be live. And when something passes through the gate, it's going to populate. And if you want to keep it, you press keep sample. And this way you can do multiple trials. Okay, so let's go back to the view here. So what does this mean? So what this means is I've got this gate, and when something passes through it, right, and you can see on the gates it's labeled, labeled 1 and 2. I just always forget where the labels are. Oh, here, this is gate 1, so it's got to pass through this one first, right, and then through this one second. So we want this to be the first one, so I'm going to stand this up so that this will go right through it. Okay, so you want to take your meter stick and you're going to mark off a meter on the floor. You're going to mark the beginning and the end. You're going to put the car at the 0, okay, and wherever that is. You're going to take, I don't have enough room up here, but so you're going to have to do that yourself. Then I'm going to take this gate and I'm going to make it so that the popsicle stick is going to go through the gate. So I'm going to line these up and just make sure that this wire is up out of the way so that I can have that go through. So I'll show you an example. So when I turn this on, right, lift it up, turn on the car, when you put it down, eventually you can go through the gate. Try it out a few times and make sure it doesn't knock your gate over, or somebody, I'm by myself, but you can make sure someone's holding it still, right? And then it'll set off, right, like that. It'll set off the photo gate. And every time it goes through the photo gate, you're going to get a reading. So let's take a look at what that looks like here. So let me see if I could set this up so we can see it at the same time. So if I press preview, so that's ready to go. And let's see if we can get some readings here. So when I turn this on, and so after you do this a few times, you'll have a few different readings. Make sure you let the cart run for the entire 1 meter and hold on to the photo gate so it doesn't fall over. And then you're going to have to do some readings. Now, an average. So one other thing you can do, though, is after you press stop, I want you to make sure, and you could do this ahead of time too, is to make sure you have some more decimal places, because this is actually very precise tool, and you can see how many places it can actually read to. Now we don't need that many, but you certainly can do in millimeters, so this will be fine.